Welcome Capricorn to Angeltopia TV, the home of Soothing Angel Tarot. I'm so glad you've joined me today because we're going to be doing something a little bit different with your reading this time, in that we're going to take a look ahead at the next 3 months. So we're going to be looking at July, August and September of 2023. So excited to bring you your angel messages. Just a couple of reminders before we begin. If this channel resonates with you, do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be reminded of future readings that are posted on the channel. Hit the thumbs up if this reading resonates with you, and also share the video with any other Capricorn out there that you feel would benefit from these messages. A reminder that these readings are no substitute for professional healthcare or financial advice. They are intended for your gentle guidance and soothing comfort only. So with all of that said, the cards have been pre-shuffled and we're going to dive right in and see what is in store for you. So we have the 10 of Air, the Ego, the 8 of Air, and the 4 of Fire. Oh, I can already see a little story unfolding here, Capricorn. Lovely. Okie dokie. So let's have a look and see what brought you here today. So the days and weeks leading up to this reading, what brought you here now? And it says here, look at this, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now, and recovering from an addiction. There is so much to unpack here, Capricorn, and I love, love, love where it's going. So air cards, first of all, are all about our thoughts and our ideas. And this is saying that you've been carrying a lot up in your head, even maybe to the point of giving yourself a headache here and there, I feel. So you might have been experiencing headaches for a bit. But it's because you've been dealing with quite a lot. You've had a lot on your plate, Capricorn. And now you can feel it shifting. And the reason you were drawn to a reading today on YouTube is that you could feel that change and you needed to know whether it was for the better or not. And I can tell you that it is for the better. The end of a difficult situation, the difficulty you've been experiencing is now coming to a close. And I think as we've begun July now, we're a few days into July of 2023 as of the recording of this reading. And you can feel a shift happen. And I think with one of the reasons I hung on till today to give you your reading is because today is actually the full moon as well. So I wanted to utilize that full moon energy to get a full spectrum of ideas and things from this reading, so you could get as much information as possible. And obviously full moon is also a time of change as well, a change and shift in energy. You may have, the angels are telling me, you may have had trouble sleeping the last few days, and I think that's because you are quite in tune with energies and frequencies around you. So you can feel when things shift and you can feel things changing, and that's when you seek answers, like from a reading like this. In terms of answers, your angels have gentle guidance to offer, and that guidance is just letting you know that it's okay to relax. That shift you've sensed is a good shift. It's about to shift into the better for you, and they fully acknowledge what you've been going through. They don't deny that at all, but they're saying that it's coming to a close now and you're able to put it to rest very, very soon. It says embrace the change. Change can be really daunting, Capricorn, and I completely understand that. We're all a bit afraid when things are different from the norm, and it can take a lot of adjusting to when things change, but it does say expect things to get better now. Now what happens when we expect something? It appears, because that is what manifestation is. We visualize an outcome and we bring it into fruition without the power of our thoughts alone. So you've been hoping and praying and really trying to attract this outcome into your life, and finally here it is. It also says recovering from an addiction. Now that can be literal. You may be addicted to some substance of maybe it's caffeine or nicotine, or you love carbohydrates, which is something I love. But recovering from that addiction is really important, because I feel that it's not talking this time about a thing that you're addicted to. I think it's a situation that you're addicted to. We become addicted to the situations that we're in because they become all too familiar, and it's much easier to live in the familiar than it is to live in the unknown. The thing we forget is that the unknown is where the magic lies. When you force your being into an unknown territory, that is, you can make anything possible in that state of consciousness. If you move yourself from the familiar to the thought of an exciting future, that is the building blocks for success right there. And you're recovering from that addiction to how you've been feeling. So if things have been difficult for you, you might have been a little bit melancholy. And when you wake up in the morning, that's your default setting. So what you're doing is you're finding that you are feeling ready to shift from that familiar feeling of feeling a bit meh to trying to move into a situation where you wake up and you feel optimistic. But you've been a little bit reluctant to let yourself feel it because I like to use the soap opera analogy in that when you're watching a soap opera and everyone's super happy and having a great time, it usually indicates that something ominous is about to happen. But that is in the world of soap, in the world of TV fiction, Capricorn. So I'm really happy to report that it's the opposite in life. When you feel happy, you only attract more happy. And you've been reluctant to shift into that happy feeling because you're so familiar with feeling down and a little bit meh, as I said before, that's your familiar default. And when you switch from a default to something else, you don't quite know what the outcome's going to be, which is why you've come to this reading today. You needed to know that if you did allow yourself to release that burden, that it would lead to good things, and I'm happy to report that it looks like it will. This card is beautiful in terms of its artwork here because you've got the sort of the dark and ominous in the background, the darker creatures here, and then they're moving into light, they're moving into life, they're moving into their spring, I guess, from autumn to spring here, it looks like visually. And what that means is that all those things that are no longer serving you, that you can cut cords to and move forward in a really positive way. So I'm really already excited for where this is going for you, Capricorn. And I think how you've been feeling has created, you've sort of spun a fiction in your mind that you're stuck there and you're not. So it says here this is your card for July. So I think the thing to overcome in July is ego energy. Now, ego doesn't mean big-headedness. It is used in that context, but ego can be that little voice in the back of your mind that says it can't be done. And that's what you've been letting rule your roost recently, Capricorn. Because it says here, it's a false sense of entrapment. You're not stuck. You just have convinced yourself that you are. And as soon as you realize that you're not stuck, you can move forward confidently and enjoy the spoils of that change of energy. It's being overly focused on material things. So you may have been they're showing me a shopping basket full of stuff you don't need. So you may have been comfort shopping, Capricorn, which, you know, I'm guilty of doing that sometimes. Like if you feel like a bit ordinary and you go and treat yourself to something nice and it lifts your vibe. Yes, that can be good, but make sure that it doesn't become a focus. You don't make that into an addiction, because things only provide short-term joy. It's the inner work that you need to do that is going to really create long-term success for you. But here it says negative or fear-based thoughts. Yeah, when we're feeling a bit insecure and a bit unsure, we may indulge in behaviors like comfort shopping that feel good in the moment but don't do anything for our long-term goals. But here, I'm here to tell you that you're not trapped. You're not stuck. You have the absolute power to get yourself unstuck. Because I think you were stuck in this dark energy here, and now you're looking to gallop at full pelt into the light. And as you sort of complete the rest of July, because we are into early July now, you start to realize that oh wow, I only thought I was stuck, but I had the power all along. It's a bit of a Wizard of Oz situation going on here. It's like you had the power all along and you didn't realise. You had the magic inside of you to change things. And it's just a case of believing. And the ego voice, that when we have ego inside of us telling us that something can't be done, we are reluctant to change things. And it's about overcoming. July is all about overcoming. And then in overcoming the old you, you become the new you. And that's where you're trying to get to. And what's great about this is that Archangel Jophiel is the archangel of beautiful outcomes. So in July, she'll be working really closely with you to make sure that you stay focused on what you're trying to get to rather than where you've been. You can see here that sometimes we can be a bit blind to what we've got, and you've probably got a lot of resources at your disposal that you haven't considered. You can see here that the gentleman in the card here has a pile of treasure in his hands, but he's wearing a mask so he can't see it. So this means that he can't see exactly the treasures that he has at his disposal. He can make use of a lot of energy, as can you, Capricorn, that will elevate you instead of keep you in this energy here. Negative or fear-based thoughts, yes, that's what ego is known for. That's what the ego does to the human spirit. It convinces it makes it shrink to fit a smaller reality. And it doesn't want you to know that you're capable of building a bigger and better life for yourself. Because it's winning if it stops you from doing that, isn't it? So you mustn't let ego win in July. And I feel like you are in the process, the sometimes daunting process of overcoming the old you to become your new, shinier self. You can see here he's creating this lovely field around him. Now, the more you overcome the ego and step into a mindset of possibility, you only attract more possibility into your life. We have this ability as human beings to change our frequency through thought alone. And scientifically, they are able to measure this now. That when we recall a time when we were joyous, so the moment someone gave us a gift or we won a prize or something uplifting like that, the energy grows in our heart space so much that it shoots out the top of our head and then creates a magnetic field around our body, which is measurable. Now, when we are at our most positive and joyous, that field can grow up to 9 feet wide around our bodies. And the wider you push that field out around you, Capricorn, it's your magnet for miracles. That magnetic field draws more of what you want towards you and acts as a barrier to the things you don't want. So it's like a force field of positive and miracles that you can create with just your mind. Yeah, see, even my categories. Thank you, Poppy, for your insight. So yeah, I think you have the power. The power is in your hands, and your ego has a real battle on its hands, I feel, in July, which is lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so I know. So here we have for August, you've got the 8 of air, and I can see how some of this energy here, the battle for the ego is going to spill a bit into August. So you're still fighting it going into August time, because again, you've gone from a false sense of entrapment here, and it's repeated here, an illusion of being trapped. A lack of self-confidence. So I feel like the ego might be still sort of balancing the scales in its favor as you go into August. But look at the repetitive energy here, trampling towards the lush and new and green. But what I love about this card is that it's indicative of having a really good support network around you. You emanate an energy that people want to follow, people want to be around you. And whilst you're afraid to take action, as I said, you kind of shrink yourself down, but you're capable of so much. And as you start to fight that ego voice that convinces you things can't be done, and your energy grows and that magnetic field around your body expands, you are attracting so much good into your life, Capricorn, that people start to follow you. Like, they start to realize, the people around you, this can be your friends, family, work colleagues, what have you, they start to notice and they say, oh, they're onto something. I want more of that. I want to be around them because they seem to have it all figured out. And the more you start to realize that you are figuring it out, you're finding the magic and the alchemy for creating a brilliant new reality for yourself, you find that you're drawing the right energies into your space. You might be afraid to take action in August, but you're realizing that action is exactly what's needed. And the fact that this unicorn is trampling is that's a symbol to me of finding a way to take action finally and just going for it. Like, I'm just going to sprint right into the new and see where it gets me. And because you've done your thinking, you've overthought it perhaps. And that's why your ego felt like it was winning for a while. But in August time, it's losing the battle because you're steaming like right ahead with confidence and clarity. And what I'm really pleased to report is that come September time, once you start to win this battle here and Jophiel has brought about the best outcome possible for you, look at this. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. Now, fire cards are all about what lights a flame inside of us that ignites our souls. And Four of Fire here is a lovely one to get because it says contentment, peace and abundance, a happy home life and the successful completion of a project. Wow, 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 Capricorn. Look at how you've done the work. You should be so proud of yourself because you went through difficult times and you felt that ending, and with that ending you were stepping into the unknown for the first time. So you felt a little bit afraid of what was to come next because that last chapter was such a slog. You didn't want to let yourself in for more of that. So you actually did the work. You started to look inward and start to realize that your sense of being stuck is within your power to correct. And being overly focused on the material to kind of try and inspire a joyous feeling by buying things and bringing new things into the home and feeling like that maybe you decided to paint a room a different color just to feel different. And what you realize is that that's not what's needed. The work, the walls you need to paint were inside of you, and the more you sort of concentrate on your own living color, the more color spills into your reality. And then here you've charged right ahead. You've realized it was an illusion that you were trapped because you learned that here. And your confidence, you've looked at your confidence levels and you've gone, wow, I ought to be a lot more confident than I actually am. I've been afraid to take action, but by golly, I'm going to take it. And you've sprinted ahead into your bright new future. And here it is. September time is looking brilliant for you. Now, it says here the successful completion of a project, and you may have been working on a project that really inspires you, or you start to work on one in September. But in this case, I actually feel that the successful completion of that project was Project You. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Is like I said before, you've done the work, you've done the internal work on yourself. And by doing that, you've brought about your shiny new reality, the reality that you didn't know would be possible unless you let yourself believe. And here it is. Look at this. You've got a dragon in the imagery here, and dragons are always symbolic of courage and strength. And you've got all your ducks in a row. Your chakras are balanced. You're feeling happy. It says happy home life here. So I feel like at home you're particularly contented, and things with family are going to feel nice and balanced. And if you live alone, you're just going to feel like really content and happy in your own company, without really seeking anything outside of that to enhance your joy. You feel like it comes from within finally. And once you master that, Capricorn, your reality is what you make it. You are in charge. The ego no longer is. That voice that said, oh no, if you attempt that, you'll just hurt yourself. No. Your ego wants you to give up, and you didn't. You didn't give up. You did the work, and you made your shiny new reality a reality. So I'm really happy to see that things will be much, much brighter for your September going forward. So we're going to get a little bit of extra clarity from the Angel Oracle, just to see what else your angels have to tell you in terms of what is to come and what we've discovered here. As I say, the cards are always pre-shuffled, but as I like to say, I'm just going to give them a quick squiz and see if we can really get a sense of what's needed. Yeah, there's the cards you need are sticking right out. So here we go. Oh, look at this. Door to spirit. Wow, wow, wow. This is because you did work. You worked on yourself internally. Yeah, that's right, Poppy. Poppy's excited for you, Capricorn. The door, you opened a door. When you decided to sit down and figure out what your new reality looked like after this situation ended, you didn't really know what your reality looked like without that going on. So you went inside, you went internal, and you were like, okay, how am I feeling? And you've realized you were feeling stuck. You were concentrating far too much on material things, and your thoughts were largely fear-based because you didn't want more of the difficult stuff. But because you went inward and you did the internal work and you asked yourself and spirit, like, what now? You opened a door, and your spirit guides and your angels have come forward to shine the way to what's next. I feel like the energy of July is extended into August, but not for long. I think in the latter part of August, sort of around the 15th time, is when you sort of realise that it's all been an illusion and that you're fully in control of your destiny. And I think because that's such deep and meaningful spirit work, that your guides and your angels are like, oh, brilliant, you opened a door to what's possible rather than letting ego convince you to keep it shut. Oh, I love that. Well done, Capricorn. And what else do we have here? Tell us more about August, angels. Give them another quick squiz. And here we go. Oh, look at this, the Angel of Love. Oh, I love that. And this makes so much sense because we have Jophiel here. Please excuse my cat, who is raking all of the cat litter out of her tray right now. Thanks, Pops. We didn't need to hear that. So here we go. So Angel of Love. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy because it really is the energy of Jophiel. She has opened your heart, and because you've looked at your internal situation and you've opened your heart to a new reality, you've manifested it, you've brought it in. So this is really just an acknowledgement of Jophiel working with you and your guardian angel right now to ensure that this reality comes to fruition. I absolutely love that. Gorgeous. And then finally, look at this. Is wonderful because a couple of these cards came out in previous readings, which means it's also a general energy that everyone is experiencing right now. The Magician and the Mirror. This is you coming to September time and looking in the mirror and realizing that I am the maker of my own magic. I don't need to feel like life is happening to me. I can make it happen for me. And when you look in the mirror, you realize, wow, I'm somebody who is building and making and creating my own reality right now. Absolutely unbelievable. You've realized you are responsible for the alchemy of your life. See how he's balancing fire and ice here. Just as you've learned to balance your concerns about the future with a sense of confidence and a sense of belief that it can be better, that you can be better and have better and exist in a better life. With that difficult situation ended and you felt a bit lost, and then you found your feet and you've made it better for yourself. And when you look in the mirror, you see somebody who can manifest change in a very positive way. You are much more powerful than you give yourself credit for, Capricorn, because we realize, I mean, humans as a species have forgotten their magic as time has gone on. And what we're doing now is we're moving into a time where we're remembering that how powerful we can be. And you've realized this. You've realized that by the power of thought alone, you can change your reality from difficult to absolutely wonderful. Wow. I absolutely love that. My goodness me, this reading is really powerful. So let's just get a little bit of extra clarity by asking the angels of one final question on each of the months. Again, cards were pre-shuffled, but I just felt guided to give them a quick squiz. What have we got? Ooh, get more information. So I think as you sort of go internally and you do this in like this really deep work on yourself, you might actually start reading up I can recommend a really, really good book called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you decide to read that book in sometime in July time, so you may pick it up or get it on your Kindle, whatever you want to do, it talks about how, like, literally in science they can measure this whole thing about the magnetic field around you. That's why this card's come out. It was to remind me to tell you that you can research the science behind that being possible. We are able to do that, and he explains all of that in that book. So if you get a chance to pick that up, do it. But if you don't want to if you want to keep your finances clear of anything, sort of any additional spending, I would recommend just going on to podcast, YouTube, and type his name in, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and you'll hear him talk about these things and get more information that way. So yeah, do some research, find out how going in within yourself can also alter your outer reality. And I think in that research you'll find yourself building that confidence that you'll find in August. What else have we got here? Ooh, romance. Okay, so this can, like I said, be literal, but in terms of, partnerships, romantic love. But I feel in the context of this reading, it's just backing up the fact that you have Jophiel with you right now. You had Angel of Love, which was the Jophiel energy from here, and it's just about you falling back in love with life again after a difficult period. You're finding that the more you open your heart to who you are and the care that you needed, you've practiced a bit of self-care. You've done the inner work, and externally your reality is shifting as a result. So it's looking. The romance card here is about looking at life through rose-tinted lens. Yeah, I know. So I couldn't get my words out. So it's a romantic way of looking at life, and that's what Jophiel does for the people that she works with. She will be working with your guardian angel to ensure this outcome, because by goodness, you deserve it. You've been through enough this year. The second half of the year is going to feel very different to that first half, which was like wading through tar. It's going to feel a lot easier as the year winds up. And then finally, ooh, look at that, within the next few weeks. Wow. So by the time we come to September, I feel like this card indicates that you're going to be looking in the mirror and realizing that you altered your reality about midway through September. And you're going to see this new reality take shape. You're seeing it happen within a matter of weeks, having waited for it for months. Here it is, and it's gaining momentum and it's building. Look at there's an actual structure in this artwork, and there's another structure off in the distance in the light. So you're building the foundation. You're starting small and then it's growing. You start with a small structure of happiness and you're building the castle of happiness in which you'll exist going forward. September is the shifting point. It's a turning point for you. And I actually feel like as you go into October, November, December, which we'll also do readings for come the time, you will see that grow and expand and only get better for you. Wow. I do love this reading for you, Capricorn. Yes, I know. This is not your reading, missus. She just gave me the dirtiest look. Okay. I've loved doing this reading for you, and I can really see a journey unfolding for you that is really exciting. Get excited for the future. Let yourself be excited for it, because it's well worth getting excited about. Thank you for joining today, Capricorn. If this reading resonated with you, do hit the thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more readings from Angeltopia TV. Hit the notification bell to be told when new videos come up on the channel. And just share it about. This community is growing, and I'm so grateful. The love building in this community is so wonderful. And there are a lot of tarot readers on YouTube, but this is one of the only angel-based ones that I've come across. I do work with angel energy, and I like to use angel-based cards. So yeah, it's a little bit different from the norm. But angel energy is lovely and gentle, and that's why I love working in it. It also brings really clear messaging, and which I just wanted to share with all of you guys. So thank you so much for joining today. I wish you nothing but love and blessings, and I will say bye-bye for now. See you soon.